All right. Okay, I'm going to be waiting for a minute here to get people on. I hope my volume is okay. All right. Starting here in a second. Okay. All right, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, awesome. All right, so thank you for joining live or on the replay. Okay, this is going to be on my Facebook. This is all recorded. So if you miss any part of this, feel free to go back and take a listen or watch. It's a really important one today as we talk about leadership. So thank you again for joining, again, live on the replay. For those of you who watch my stories on IGTV, I asked the question, what makes a great leader? And I got really great responses. Thank you for joining on Insta, by the way. So I got really great responses. So some people said empathy, confidence, integrity, which actually hit the nail on the head, by the way. So I'm actually going to be talking about integrity in this live. And teamwork, great communication. So really great responses on that question. So thank you for participating in that. But I'm going to be talking about 5 qualities or characteristics from an energetic perspective when it comes to leadership. So this isn't really going to be based upon any studies or like surveys of any kind. I'm really actually basing this on the work that I do and working with people and reading energy. And you'll see what I mean as we go through the 5 characteristics that I'm going to be talking about. But I'm asking the question of yourself too. Do you see yourself as a leader? Okay, some of you might say yes, some of you might say no. I know a lot of my clients are entrepreneurs, so they see themselves as leaders in many different ways. But I want you to understand that each and every one of you is a leader in your own capacity. So even if that means you're a leader in your family, a leader in your community, or even at work. So one of the big things when it comes to leadership is your decision making and your decision making skills. Okay, if you make decisions for yourself or others, or maybe perhaps in collaboration with a group of other people, you are exercising a leadership skill. And it doesn't matter how mundane the decisions are. And this is something that I talk about in my one-on-one sessions a lot with my clients, has to do with the choices that you make, because they have an impact. You're either reinvesting into the vision that you are creating, or you're actually taking energy away from it. So as I go through this list, I don't want you to use the list as a way to kind of judge yourself in a way like, oh, I'm not that, or I could never be that. Ask yourself, use it as a gauge. So ask yourself, to what degree am I already experiencing or doing these things, and in what ways can I improve? And I want you to think too of someone that you might admire. Okay, so I like using this example because a lot of us, whether it's a celebrity or whether it's someone who's a master in their craft or an authority on a subject that we gravitate towards, or someone that we know, we admire them for particular qualities and characteristics that we have. And the reason why that is because we actually have those same characteristics. Conversely, if we're judging somebody else, it's because we are they're actually showing something that we have within ourselves that we might not want to look at, and so we judge it. Okay, so imagine, as we go through the list, imagine if everyone stepped into their own power to be leaders with these higher vibrational frequencies, and what that would actually bring as far as a change in the world. So the first quality that I wanted to talk about is transparency. And we're pretty at this point in time, especially with politics, we're used to smear campaigns. We're used to people digging stuff up about other individuals, to say that they're not good people. Okay. But the thing is, leaders know, for one, no one's perfect, right? So leaders know that whatever it is that they have done in the past, whether you can call it a mistake, mistakes are lessons, they have learned from it. They've transmuted that energy and used it to become who they are now. Okay. So it's really more about like not just harping on the past and going, oh, like that person is no longer a good person because of what they did 20 years ago. Well, holy crap, if someone was judging me on the things that I did 20 years ago, I really wouldn't even be doing what I'm doing right now. So ask yourself the question here, where am I not being forthcoming? Okay. Where am I afraid of what others would think of me? And where am I not being authentic? Okay, great leaders learn from their past. And majority of the people who are watching this, you are most likely working on yourself. I know a lot of people who are, because of everything that's been going on, have been really, really introspective. Learn from your past. See how it has caused you to become who you are today. Now, the thing is, when people get really caught up with what other people are going to think, that's really more of the ego kicking in. And leaders know when that comes up, right? When that monkey mind comes up. So it's really the awareness that's key, especially as a leader, where you kind of go, okay, I'm letting that really get to me. Is that really going to matter right now? Is that going to matter in the next year? Probably not. Okay. So the second quality I want to bring up is vulnerability. Okay. It takes a lot of courage to forge a new path, to do things others do not agree with, in order to risk being called crazy because other people don't see what you see. And it takes strength to withstand criticism and judgment, or maybe even some other type of attack. Okay. So leaders understand that there's risk, but they also understand that there's more to lose by not stepping out of their comfort zone, right? By playing it safe. And so when it comes to vulnerability, ask yourself, who do I have to become to create this vision, or to create the life that I want? Who or what do I need to give up? And what is holding me back from obtaining what I want, or creating the change that I want to create? The third quality or characteristic is integrity. So I'm really glad that someone responded with that, in my IG stories. Integrity is probably the hardest thing. And I know this based upon working with clients. This is probably the number one thing that people have a hard time facing, because integrity can be really triggering. So integrity has to do with wholeness and completeness. And when I say this, I'm not trying to say, oh, well, you need to be like 100% perfect all the time. That's not it whatsoever. But when we're looking at integrity, it boils down to the habits that we have. So what are we thinking and feeling most of the time, right? Which leads us to do certain things majority of the time. So what are we doing with our time? And having awareness here is also really, really key. So I want you to ask yourself, where do I lack the follow through? Right? Because usually when it comes to that lack of integrity, that leads to the whole self-sabotage that most people have a hard time with. So where am I not doing what I say I'm going to do? Where am I choosing to slack off or actually be lazy? Okay. And where do I make excuses for myself? Okay. And trust me, I ask these questions of myself every day. Okay. As doing a check-in. So integrity is what creates excellence in whatever industry, field, you name it. This is what gets people to a level that is outstanding, because nothing is overlooked. And this is also what pushes people beyond their threshold and raises the bar. So haven't you ever done anything where you kind of felt like, whoa, that was really challenging, but I did it, and then now you're trying to get to the next thing? It's like when I used to run, and I'd run a mile in a certain time, I would always try and push myself for that time to be shorter and shorter. So it's the same thing when it comes to leadership. That is where integrity plays in. So the fourth thing that I thought about energetically when it comes to leadership is influence. Now, if you have watched any of my other videos or spoken to me before, you always know how I say that you cannot control anything outside of your energetic field. You only have influence. And this is really energetic law, meaning that this is how energy works. So I'm going to say this here. Leaders who actually want to have control over others, control, not influence, they're actually really wanting a variation of slavery. And you'll see what I mean when I talk about the fifth characteristic. So what this made me think about is the difference between compelling versus impelling other people. Compelling has more to do with using something outside of people to restrain in order to get people to do something, whether they want to do it or not, but it's to get someone to do something. Whereas impelling another individual is where you impact them on the inside. You touch on perhaps their motives or their morals or their thinking ability. And so both of these things require a particular force, but the drivers are different. So a great effectual leader knows that when you lead with these higher vibrational frequencies, with transparency, vulnerability, and integrity, that your vision is actually going to magnetize people naturally. Okay, so people are going to resonate with it and they're going to be enthusiastic about the vision because it's something that they can see themselves as being a part of, which someone mentioned teamwork, right? So when you are a leader and you lead in that particular way with influence and not control, then people feel free to join in and feel like they can create that impact with you. It's not just passive people who are just waiting to be told what to do. So there's a very, very big difference. Okay. The fifth thing that I wanted to mention then is sovereignty. And this is a huge thing. This is a huge thing for me because I've always said that my most precious possession is my sovereignty. So a true leader doesn't ask for permission, to be who they are, to create what they want, to make a change, or to even lead. Now, a leader can still get input from other people, insight, collaborate with others, but the thing is, they're still not going to give up who they are. They're not going to sell themselves out for something, okay? Because that's what ends up changing the consciousness of a leader, by the way, which is a whole other subject. But when you sell yourself out as a leader, you have given up your sovereignty. So every one of you, as an energetic being, is sovereign, whether or not you realize it. And that's the beauty of free will. Now, the degree to which you use your sovereignty is up to you. And when if you read energy, let's put it that way, if you read energy, you can tell to what degree that someone is being sovereign. So ask yourself the question, am I waiting on a savior or someone or something else to change my life or to change my circumstances? Am I afraid to ask questions, to think differently? Am I always looking for approval? Okay, that's a huge thing. Am I trying to please others? Do I always feel like I have to follow the rules even if they don't resonate with me? Okay, so these are really hard questions, right? I'm not asking for easy questions, but when it boils down to these particular characteristics, a leader has to challenge themselves by telling the truth to themselves. So remember, when it comes to all of these things, that if you look at where we are now and the things that we enjoy, perhaps even might take for granted now, they were created by thought leaders. They were created by people who thought outside the box, even if people told them it was impossible or crazy. There's innovations that we get to take advantage of now, because there were leaders in the past, and we get to stand on their shoulders as we move forward. So again, I'm going to say it, you are a leader because the very first person that you lead is yourself. Okay. And by your example, as you continue to develop these particular qualities that we talked about, you show others how to lead. So imagine if we get groups of leaders in these higher vibrational frequencies together, we would have something that the world has never seen before. And that's exactly what I believe is actually happening right now. So, okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Elise. All right. So if there's any other comments on that, I'd enjoy your comments. I'll definitely be taking a read through them, but I also promised you an energy clearing for today on this. So a clearing on leadership. And then what I also wanted to do at the end of that, since we might have some time, we'll kind of gauge it, but I think I might want to pull a general guidance cards for today for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the energy clearing that I typically do with my clients. And I'm actually going to be doing something here that I haven't done in the past. So if you've never done a clearing with me before, definitely take advantage of this one because we're going to be ridding ourselves of some control and fear consciousness. Okay, for leaders, that's exceptionally important at this time because we're seeing a lot of people energetically being hijacked by fear and control. So this is a really important clearing that I felt the need to do today for everybody. So as we do this, I'm going to be walking you through your energetic field, through your chakras. Don't think you're going to get anything wrong. So don't get hung up on the visualization. Just follow as I guide you through. And so you are actually the one doing this. Okay, I'm only guiding you. I can assist you if you need it, but understand that you are the one who's doing this, and that's the reason why you will probably feel what you feel, and then we'll go from there. So if any feedback at the end, feel free to share. So first, just go ahead and close your eyes, get settled into your seat, relaxing your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Easy breath in and out longer on the exhale. Exhaling longer helps to slow the heart rate down, which signals your body that you are safe because you are safe. And now I want you to visualize the end of your spine, so right at your tailbone. From there, you're going to send a grounding cord that goes down into the center of the earth. And this grounding cord can be as wide as a softball, but it could be as wide as your hips if you feel the need to release a lot today. Completely up to you. And you'll know when you get there, when you see, sense, or feel a light, warmth, or higher vibration. Good. Now, from the bottoms of your feet, imagine tree roots going down into the earth. And I say tree roots because they're really wide and substantial. And if you need a measurement, imagine going out 200 to 300 miles into the earth, almost like you're wrapping around the sides of the earth. And then you're going to absorb the earth's energy coming up through those roots, going up through the bottoms of your feet, and then coming up past your ankles, your lower legs, where we tend to hold a lot of adrenaline. So if you've been in a lot of fear, worry, imagine that that energy is moving that adrenaline going up past your knees, your thighs, hips, meeting at that grounding cord, circling back down. Excellent. So if you're really sensitive, you might be able to feel the earth's energy circulating through the lower half of your body. And now we're going to go to your root chakra. So that sits right at the perineal area. And I want you to imagine like you're at the center of an onion, and you know how an onion has layers? At your root chakra, go out to the 30th layer, 30. Now, you don't have to count all the way out there. You know where that is. So trust where your perception is. Bring that 30th layer into the center. And then release that down the grounding cord. It's really big energies today that we're going to be releasing. You're going to feel a lot lighter, a lot more at peace by the end of this. Okay, excellent. And then now we're going to connect to universal energy. So imagine that you know where the center of the universe is, and you're just going to pull that down. It might look like light. Oftentimes it looks like light. You're going to pull that down, and then you're going to meet up with what's called your creative rings, a stack of creative rings that are above the crown chakra. These rings actually represent your goals, dreams, desires, intentions, the things that you came here to create as a leader. Now, this will look like a stack of like wedding bands, one on top of another. Each of you has a different number of rings. So if you want to know, just message me later how many you have. But we're infusing these rings with universal energy. Very important in these times right now. So you can set intentions here of stepping into your power as a leader, being a great leader, not having fear as a leader, whatever it is. So as that energy comes down through those rings, we now meet up at your crown chakra, sitting right above the top of your head. Go out to the third layer, please. We're going to pull in needing permission to lead. And with all these characteristics that we talked about. So pull that in, drop it down. That goes down your spine, basically your pranic channel, all the way down into the grounding cord, into the center of the earth. Now you're going to go down to the center of your head, third eye chakra. So here, go out to the third layer again. We're going to be focusing on thoughts, mindsets, beliefs, even the things that you might be scared about. So for example, if you might be telling yourself, I'm not a leader, I don't know how to lead. What if I become someone that I don't like if I become a leader? If I lead, people won't like me, or I need everyone to like me. If I lead, I'll be alone, I'll be criticized, I'll be judged, I'll be ostracized. It's dangerous to be a leader. So let's pull all of that energy into the center. Down. So I'm being really, if you will, panoramic with these things here, because to a certain degree, depending on where you see yourself as a leader, these thoughts can creep in and apply. Okay, so I'm doing this for the collective, all those who are watching this today. So third layer again at the third eye, we're going to clear being afraid to be seen. Okay, pull that in to the center and down. Excellent. Go out to the seventh layer, please, at your third eye. This is how we see ourselves, really, okay? So here we're going to clear not seeing yourself as that powerful leader. Pull that in. Like you don't have a clear vision of it. It's really hard to see. Pull that in, drop it down. Excellent. And then go out to the 10th layer at the third eye. This is your connection to the spiritual realm. The third eye, this is where we receive insight, downloads. This is where we are able to access more of the creativity as we receive information. And then that filters down through the rest of the chakras, right? We don't want any blocks to that. Pull that into the center. Release. Excellent. And then going down to the throat. So we're behind the spine here, right? The cervical neck. So third layer, we're going to clear the fear of speaking up. Okay. For a number of you, especially those of you who are spiritual leaders, in the past life, you were killed a number of times, right? Past lives. Imagine how many ways we've been killed at the neck. You know, not to get graphic or anything, but that's happened. And so there's a fear of speaking up. What if I do, and then the same thing happens again? So let's pull that in to the center. Release. Good. And then also third layer, one more time at the throat, anger. Okay, so the thing is, we can transmute this anger. So let's pull it in first, that third layer to the center. release. So when we're not really speaking our truth, or not necessarily taking a stand for maybe what we feel the need to, we can have a lot of stored anger here, but that can be transmuted, meaning we can change that energy into something positive and beneficial. So we have the ability to do that. Going down to the heart center, between the shoulder blades, in the back. Third layer, let's clear self-judgment, right? If we're always like talking to ourselves in a very deprecating way, if we're always saying, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not there yet, then it can really hamper our growth and prevent us from stepping into that leadership. So pull in the third layer to the center, release. Excellent. And then third layer again at the heart. Remember we talked about vulnerability? So let's clear the fear of vulnerability. So pulling in that third layer to the center where we can feel really exposed, right? When you're a leader, you can feel like a lot of eyes are on you, and that can make you feel a little bit nervous. So we pull that into the center. Release. Excellent. Going down to the solar plexus, so at the stomach, so we're behind the stomach here. Third layer, let's clear any weak or unclear boundaries. So when I say that, we need to be really clear about where we stand and what we stand for, right? If you're leading, there's purpose. And if you feel kind of aimless or like, I don't know where I am, then there's also an element here of maybe not being grounded or in your location in space time. But let's pull in that third layer to the center and release, because your energy needs to match what you say, right? Otherwise, who's going to listen if they feel the energy is erratic or off? Okay, going down to actually still at the solar plexus, please, at your stomach. Go out to the third layer again. Let's clear any people pleasing. So let's pull that into the center and down. So the people pleasing, it's like two sides of the same coin, where you can feel like you have to please everyone in order to lead, or you are trying to please everyone so you don't lead, right? So that's why you just want to get rid of that altogether. One more thing here at the solar plexus, please go out to the 15th layer. So we're going to get rid of some collective control consciousness here, which can actually kind of siphon the life out of you, where you actually start to lose motivation, okay, to lead, to do, to fulfill your purpose, what you came here to do. So pull in that 15th layer to the center and release. Excellent. That's big. Going down to your sacral. So we're in between the navel and hips. Second layer. Let's clear anger all the way up to rage. Okay. And we're talking about like long-standing anger here, excessive anger. We might have judged other leaders in the past, right? We might have been angry with them. And this even can include your parents as being leaders in your family, right? So let's pull that into the center. When we're holding on to excess anger, it can hamper our creative abilities. So we pull that in, drop it down, and that's what we don't want. The anger can really weigh you down. And the thing is, so a lot of leaders too who will use anger as like the fuel to lead, and you really want to be careful of that, because not only can anger lower your vibration, it's not sustainable. You have to lead with something lighter, with a vision of the future, not so much about what happened in the past. So second layer at the sacral, again, we're going to clear shame. So pull that into the center and down. Shame can prevent it's the same thing. It can prevent growth. It can prevent you from stepping into your power. Excellent. So now we're going to go back down to the root chakra and go out to the third layer, expand the third layer as we clear fears. And there's a lot here collectively for the group on all the different platforms. We're going to clear the fear of loss, fear of being unsafe, fear of not having enough value, fear of annihilation, fear of lack of support, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of death, fear of taking responsibility, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of change, and fear of the unknown. I know that's a lot. Let's pull that into the center. That third layer is really big energy here, but all of this applies for all of you leaders out there. So pulling that in, release. Excellent. Whew. Okay, so now we have Earth's and universal energy mixing together here at the root, coming up the front of the spine, going past your sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, rings, and then like paint over balloon, it comes up and over the field. And it's immersing through all the layers of your aura as it comes down over your body. And then it comes down past your legs, attaching at the grounding cord, okay, below your feet. And then now let's take care of the circle of reciprocity. So we're going to take the energies of your heart, throat, third eye, crown, rings. We're going to compress that. And it's going to go through your right shoulder into your right arm. So really open up here where you feel like you can execute, you can do, you can fulfill what it is that you want to do as a leader. So we're going through the right arm, opening it up completely. And then as it goes to the right fingertips and palm over to the left side, so you can go like this if you would like. And it moves over here from your left wrist, really open up here completely as well. Okay, so we're opening up this arm so you can also receive feedback, receive input from other people, receive anything else coming your way that can help you with fulfilling your vision. So that comes up into the left arm, to the left shoulder, dropping down into the chest, wrapping around the front and back of the heart, going up front and back of the throat, going up front and back of the third eye, through the crown, rings, and then again up and over the field. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to clear several other energies here that are really, really important, and I have not done this live yet. So this is a special treat for you all, and this is going to make a really, really huge difference. So the first thing that I want to do is where your grounding cord is attached to your aura below your feet, I want you to imagine like you're picking up the 15th layer. If you want, you can imagine almost like a small hula hoop around your body. You're going to pick up that 15th layer, and it's going to come up past your legs. It already might feel heavy or dense here. Just breathe through it. So as you're bringing this up past your legs, coming up past your hips, so like by the root chakra, coming up past your sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, through the crown, and out. Okay, so what we cleared there is collective control consciousness, which can really make you feel restrained. It can really make you feel like you need to ask for permission. Right? So, and these could be, any types of either institutions or structures in place that can make you feel that way. And then we're talking about the energy of that. Okay. So now I want to clear control beings. Okay. So this particular energy can actually be quite divisive, especially if other people do not share your same sentiments, views, or vision of the future. So collectively, in all the different platforms here, I identified 20, which is a lot. So there's a couple places that I want to go within the energetic field in order to clear this. So the first place that I want to go is at the throat. Okay. So at the throat, what we're going to do here, I want you to visualize a black flame. Okay, so we're actually utilizing pure darkness, not darkness like negative darkness. We're talking about the darkness that births everything, that comes from source. So we're talking about a black flame here at the throat, because there's two places, here and at the crown. So what we're going to do is I want you to visualize it here at the throat, and you already might be feeling like constriction here. So as you place that here, imagine that that black flame is burning through, kind of dissolving that energy of control in the throat. So take a moment here, just take a deep breath, longer on the exhale as that is working on the throat area. Now, whenever I do this with my clients, they usually will feel like pressure or constriction or a lump or something like that here, and slowly begins to dissolve that sensation, allowing you to be able to speak with clarity and not have that anger and fear that we talked about, which can make your words not land with the intention that you originally had. So it's really important here at the throat to be clearing that with that black flame. And you already might notice that it's lighter at this time. So if you're ready, move to the crown right above your head. Same thing. Utilize a black flame here for the rest of the control beings, and go ahead and allow that to dissolve. You might feel a little dizzy, which is very common too. You might start yawning, like I almost want to yawn right now. So right up here, imagining that, and allow it to dissolve. Breathe in and out. You might have ringing in your ears too. That's very common. Okay, excellent. And now we're also going to clear fear entities or collective fear consciousness, and identified collectively on all the platforms that I'm streaming onto you right now, 25. That's a lot. So we're going to do the same thing in a couple of different places. I want you to go to your root chakra and then imagine that black flame again at the root chakra, and imagine it dissolving that. Easy breath in and out. It almost feels like I sunk a little bit lower into my seat as I did that. And then I want you to move up. If you're ready, move up to the solar plexus. Do the same thing. So black flame here at the solar plexus. When you focus your attention, that's where the energy is going to go. So I want you to trust what you're doing here. Don't question it. Just sense and feel as you picture that black flame there. You're putting it there with your intention, with your energy. I feel a little nauseated right now. That's normal too. And then go up one more. Go up to the third eye. Same thing. So black flame here. Picture it there. And imagine like it's dissolving that fear consciousness. You might have a little bit of a headache. Again, a little bit of dizziness. You might feel a buzzing or a vibration. All of that is very normal. Easy breath in and out. You guys are doing great. That feels lighter, feels very clear now through the pranic channel. Good. So cords, last thing is cords. At your root, please. 10. So collectively for the group, there's 10. So I want you to see, sense, and feel around your root chakra, and imagine like you're deplugging. So you're taking a plug out of the wall socket. So go ahead and remove. You can do them all at the same time. It doesn't matter. So remove, and you're going to send it back to who they belong to. So do you always need to know who they belong to? No, but you definitely want to make sure that no one else is trying to ground through you. Okay, so see, sense, and feel, deplug, send it back. Excellent. And let me know if you need assistance with this or if something feels like it's harder to remove. So the next one, heart. There's two. See, sense, and feel, deplug, send it back. You guys are doing really good with that. Okay, and then one more at the third eye. See, sense, and feel, deplug, send it back. So let me know again if you need assistance with that or if you feel like something's stuck and I can give you a different suggestion. But if anyone wants to share what they felt, share how that did for them, then feel free to comment and I'll be able to look through the comments. But I'm actually going to do something here. I didn't expect to do this, but I kind of felt the need to. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pull a tarot message for you guys today in terms of leadership. Okay. So any comments, questions, concerns on the clearing or anything that I talked about, feel free to put it in. But otherwise, I really appreciate you guys being here and also on the replay. Really important information I felt really necessary to share and to do the clearing on. So thank you for being here. Okay, so tarot message for today on leadership. I felt that come up too fast. Tarot message on leadership for today. And if you guys have a topic that you ever want me to discuss in the future or do a clearing on, I'm happy to do that too. So you can feel free to message me if that's the case, okay? All right, so 3-card pull. We'll see if I need to clarify. Okay, Queen of Cups is the first card, followed by 4 of Cups. Oh, thank you, Darko. Thank you for joining. So the 4 of Cups is in reverse, and then the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, in reverse. So what this is telling me here, first off, we've got like the divine feminine here. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? I mean, we're used to seeing people in positions of power, even women who may be in positions of power, but are really more in the masculine energy because they feel like that's what needs to lead, right? But really, we're coming to terms where we're merging the divine feminine and masculine together. So what does that mean? So besides just exerting power, right? Like not so I kind of do that because we think of like power with like force and strength, right? But there's strength in the nurturing side, the intuitive side, the side that is able to feel. If you are a leader, you need to be able to tap into the feminine energy too, that is going to enable you to be able to empathize with the people that you are leading or who's collaborating with you, or for the people who you're trying to benefit by making a change in the world. You can't, and this is the reason why I was saying earlier that you can't, as a leader, you can't expect yourself to be perfect. Like if there was a leader that rose up that had like a spotless life, I would kind of question that, because if I was going through something, how would you be able to help me if you hadn't experienced your own things? So it's important to be able to have empathy, to be able to feel what it is that you need to feel as a leader, right? You can't, so yes, you don't want to become overly emotional where the emotions take over, but you have to still be able to feel your way through things in conjunction with, with the downloads, the intuition, all the other insight, the things, the logistics of things. You've got to be able to merge both. So hello, thank you for joining. See you, Roscoe. Hello. So I'm kind of ending at the near here, or like ending this here soon, but this is going to be on my IGTV. So the Four of Cups that I have here, okay, this is really more about understanding that when it comes to, again, when it comes to the emotions, not only are you not going to be overcome by them, but also you want to be able to take into consideration the other side. So what do I mean by that? So right now where we experience a lot of division and a lot of people don't agree with each other, we want to be able to understand, because people are their own sovereign beings and they make their own choices, we have to be able to consider where other people are coming from. Not everyone is on the same plane right now. Not everyone is in the same state of consciousness. So it's really important to be able to understand there are other angles, there are other sides that people are viewing things from. So let's say, for example, you are a leader in the spiritual community, and and there's a lot of division over things that are happening right now. If you take the side of you're always right, or you're angry about what it is that you're seeing, but yet you're on the quote unquote spiritual side, you're the same as anyone else who's on the other side being angry and ranting and raving too. So anger is useful to the degree where you can stand up for yourself and enforce your boundaries. But if it gets excessive, if it gets to the point of rage where it's bringing down your vibrational frequency, that's where you have to be careful. Now, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse here shows that as a leader, not everything is going to be perfect. Not only are you not going to be perfect, but as you are leading, things are going to be challenging. Okay, because usually the Ten of Pentacles is, this is like everything is solid, everything is concrete. There's a lot of fluidity right now. So as a leader, you're going to be navigating things that have never been navigated before, and you're going to be an example to others. But the thing is, make sure to stay grounded. Make sure to understand that you're worthy of the leadership. Okay, so this is all coming full circle here as you step into your power as a leader. Merge the divine masculine and feminine. Make sure that you take into consideration that there's other ways of looking at things, and make sure that you understand that things, as a leader, things are not going to be easy, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. Okay, so we all lead. When we lead ourselves, we lead for each other, and it amplifies the energy of that higher vibrational frequencies when we talk about those characteristics that we did. Okay, so thank you again for being here. I really, really appreciate you. Love you all. And I will be on next week with my girl Jasmine. We're going to be talking about the higher self. What is, or who is the higher self? Okay. And again, if there are topics that you want to hear from us or myself about, or you want to get a clearing on, feel free to message me. Let me know so I can plan for that in the future. But otherwise, love you all. Appreciate you. Mwah, and I will talk to you soon. I'll see you soon. Bye.